Hi, and hope you are doing well. I'm Jadi, and you're watching Geeking with Jadi. Free. What is this? LPIC 1. I would never be able to learn how this works. Oh, I just did. We are on the 110. Practical is finishing. It's security, 3 parts, and we will be done. You should be able to know the basics of the security. And tell you what, I want to share with you the most important security tip with a system admin. Don't touch things that you don't understand. Practically all the GNU Linux servers are secure out of the box. Even most of the programs are super secure out of the box. This not used to be the case. For example, Mongo used to work without a default password years ago. But nowadays, most things you get are secure. The insecurities, the security issues arise when you touch things to solve things. Your web server is not working and you changed everything access to 777. Everyone has access to read anything, write anything. The problem is solved. This is working now. It's working for you, for your customers, and for the hackers or crackers. Although I sometimes use the word hacker, but hacker can be a good guy who knows a lot of things and does innovative things, has fun solutions. These are the crackers. These are the penetrating people. Don't pretend. Anyway. Okay. So don't touch things you don't know. Learn things. But in this part, we should speak about find, passwd, lsoff, chage, nmap, netstat. You've seen most of these. Sudo, su, user mode, ulimit. Okay, you don't know about this. But you have seen most of them. I will talk about the same tools, but from a security perspective. The first thing I'm going to talk about is sudo and su. We have seen this, but we will have a look a little bit in more depth. Su is set user ID. I said set my user ID to some other user. So if you check with who am I, I'm Jadi. If I say su set my user ID, nothing else. So it will change me to the root. This will ask the root password. I will provide it a root password and I will become root. Now I am root. It's more common to add one dash here. So it will load some environment variables and this kind of stuff from the user. Again, the user is root. I will provide the root password and I will become root. This is cool. You can see when I didn't have the dash, I stayed in Jadi's home. When I had the dash, I moved to the home of the root. More root-like. So this is su. Very straightforward and easy. If I add a user here, user add new user. Okay, I have a new user. I set a password for new user. Okay, now I have it. If I exit, I were able to say su to the new user with the environment variables. I should provide the new user's password. Now I'm the new user. New user is very poor and doesn't have a proper prompt or home or whatever. Cool. I can say su root, same as saying su. Provide the root password and now I am root. You remember, if I do an exit, I will become the new user. I have to do another exit to become Jadi. You go inside that and you go up. So this was su. Easy and straightforward. But we also have the sudo. When you do the sudo, you are saying su do. Set user ID and do something. Don't become that user. I have the access to run things with that user's account. So if I say sudo ls, I'm saying become root and do an ls. But this asks for the password of Jody, not the root. I'm not completely becoming root. I'm just running a command with the root access. I gave it the wrong password. I gave it the correct password, and this ran with the root account. For example, with touch, we can create files. I created a new file here, but I cannot touch my file on the root directory because I don't have permission to write there. I can say sudo touch file. It didn't ask for password because it already did a few moments ago. So it remembers this. There is a cartoon from XKCD. There is a guy here. Why I miss this every single time? Now it's solved. There is a guy here, says to another guy, make me a sandwich. Says, no, I can't. On the next panel, it says, sudo make me a sandwich. And says, okay, I'm going to make you a sandwich. Very funny. Computer jokes. So, sudo does a sudo. Does something with another user's access. If you want to do with another user's access, you can do with, and not the root, you can say sudo with the user, new user, touch on the temp, my file. You can see that my file is created by new user because I have said sudo-u new user touch this. And it's very common to do sudo su. Su asks for the root user's password and change it to the root. Sudo runs whatever is here with the root access after asking your password because I have the access to use sudo. So running this will make me root by asking my own password because sudo asks my password, then runs this with the access of the root. This is being run by the access of the root, so it doesn't need the password of the root. So you can become root like this and do a passwd and change root user's password. In some distros, the root user doesn't have a password in the beginning or has a random password or doesn't have any because it's not normal to log in with root because this can be disastrous. You can run something which is very dangerous. But how the computer knows that I have the sudo access? If I do a su become the user, new user, give it the password of the new user, now I'm the new user. If I do sudo ls, it asks for my password and it says new user is not in the sudoers file. This incident has been reported to the administrator, an email sent to the root. This is defined in sudoers file. I can do a cat etc sudoers. Permission denied. I don't have access. Sudo. This is the sudoers file. It's an important file which says who can do sudo. There are some configurations here, but the important part is here. It says the root users can run all commands. It can run commands with the access of any user and any group and all the files. This is a user here. Here I have a group with the ampersand. It says sudo group, whoever is part of the sudo group, again can run every single command by every single user and group, pretend to be anyone else. This is sudoers file and also loads some data from here. So whoever is part of the sudo group can do this. If I want to make new user to be able to do this, I have to change it to the sudo group. I can add. So I have to say sudo user mode, add to the group sudo new user. And next time new user logs in, he or she or it or whatever can do a sudo commands. This is how sudo works. And this sudo file is super important, because if you break this file, if you make this file unreadable, or you remove this and this by accident or whatever, what happens? No user will be able to do sudo. So no user will be able to fix this unless you have the root access. That's why you never edit this file manually. There is a command for this, which is vi sudo. Vi sudo will load this file in a vi, and when you are done, we'll check the results to see if it's a valid sudo file. If yes, we'll replace this. Otherwise, won't. So if you wanted to use this, you had to use vi sudo, which is not installed here because normally you don't need to edit this file and add anyone to this. You just need to add people to the sudo group. But you can configure this and, for example, say this specific user is able to run this specific command with the sudo access and nothing else, with the root access and nothing else. It's lots of configurations here. It was a long discussion, but it was very fun, I'm sure. If you want to check who is logged in into your server, you have two different commands. One is w, who. Another one is who. So w shows some more information with headers and everything. W by default says Jadi is on the console, direct login from this time. Jadi on an SSH session on a sudo terminal from this IP. Nice. W shows the same information. Login time, idle time, how much CPU use, some more info. So W is more general, but this is more good if you want to just check who is on the server, especially on the network. You can grab on PTSs and see how many people logged in and this kind of stuff. We also have the last command, which shows you last logged in users. Same data you saw here. I have one login from the terminal to this machine and one SSH session. Last says, no, these are both SSH sessions because it's the last. It says one person logged in here and logged out here. It's not logged in anymore. This and this are logged in at the moment. One from the console, from the same machine, and one from the terminal which you are seeing. There is a remote machine and I'm logged into that one. When logged in, where left, still logged in. It also shows you the reboots. So these are the reboots and these are the older logins to this machine. You can also do a last-f. Just show me the failed logins on the logins file. It's here. It's here, varlog. So you can say last-f varlog btmp. I don't have an access to read this, so we do a sudo. So these are the failed logins to this machine. Sometimes you see thousands and thousands of these. And that's when you have to block those IPs who are trying to log in. There is a program which is called fail to ban. The sound you just heard was a traveling salesman. Fail to ban will check this all the time, and if one IP is trying to log in with some users all the time and failing, they're trying to brute force you, they will ban the user for some time, ban that IP for some time. So we had three commands, W, who, and last, which shows you who logged into the machine at the moment and historically. Something else is password management. To manage users on this machine, you have passwd. You have seen this command. This changes my own password. I can say my current password because you might have a working session. Someone may sit here and just change your command. So you should know the current password. And your new password is 123. Retype password 123. This is not a good password. I didn't accept it. You must choose a longer password. Cool. I could have done this with the root access. If you say sudo passwd, I'm running it with the root command, root access. and changing the password of the Jodi. First, you can see it doesn't ask for current password because this is root and changing. Set it to 123, 123, done, because root said so. So it's better to set a better password. So this was passwd. Passwd also is able to show you some nice data. I can say passwd-s, show information. It says the user is Jodi. Password is enabled. It might have been L, which says password is locked, so this user cannot log in, or NP, no password, which is very bad. This is the last time I changed this password, just at the moment. This is the minimum time in days which should pass before I change this password. So this root can say people cannot change the password before 4 days have passed from the last change. Not sure why. This is the max days this password works. So if this many days passes from this date, this password won't be valid anymore, but I will get warning 6 days before this. So I will get warning that your password is expiring, your password is expiring, your password is expiring. And this is a days in which if I don't log in, the password expires automatically. If you are an administrator of a university, it's very normal to create a user, say the password change policy is 0, the minimum date. You can change it whenever you want. You don't need to wait a few days. Set this on, for example, 1000, something around 3 years, the password will be valid. Then you have to change it, but you will get warnings 30 days before this expiry date comes. And each time you log in, the system will tell you have only 30 days, you have only 29 days, you have only 1 day, and expires. And set this, for example, on 365 and say if the users didn't log in for a year, disable this password. This is very, very important. -1 means never. But having this on a shared machine, on a machine where employees come and go, is very important because this disables old logins which the users are already gone from this company or whatever. Many hacks have happened because of this. I think a NordVPN hack recently happened because an employee who have left the company years ago had still an active account there. So this is it. You can also use the user mode to change many of these, but we have chage. Normally it shows you the information about the command. We will use the list. I say chage list for Jodi. Says, okay, this is the status of the Jodi. Same information, kind of. Last password change was this one. Password expires on this. This is this plus this. What is this? Plus this. Got it. I was using this site. Haha, very funny. The eraser. Account expires never, password inactive never, number of minimum days is this one, and expiry warning on this one. If I wanted to edit this, I could do a direct edit here with chage Jodi. I cannot change mine. Okay, sudo. Minimum password age, 0. Password age maximum. Okay. Last password change is this one. Password expiry 30 days. These are good. This is good. So now it's updated based on what I've gave it. And for sure you were able to say chage maximum on 666 for Jodi. Permission denied. I understand. Do a sudo. And now it's on 666. So chage and user mode and passwd. On passwd you can also use something like a lock this password, expire this password immediately, or unlock this password, and you knew about user mode. Let's speak about SUID, GUID, and then user limits. Lots of stuff. Maybe it's better to go to the next video, not to make this one too long. Have a rest. Check next video for other stuff.